Did you know that when you have a mental health issue, illness, you are entitled to be exempted from income tax and any other form of tax from the government? All you need to do is to register with the National Council of Persons Living with Disability, and they will take you through the journey.
This is a show where we discuss about social issues that affect each one of us cutting across the economic status. Here we discuss about real issues that affect Hi everyone.
Hi.
If it's your first time to come across this channel, this is Jenny on Jenny Talk Show, where we talk about social issues. And today we have Wakili again. We are going to talk about mental health in workplaces. Can you, Wakili, introduce yourself once more and take us through that topic?
Hi everyone, my name is Samuel Ochieng. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I am also a musician by the name Gospel Dynamite. As an advocate, I specialize in employment law, but I also cover other matters and areas of law like criminal law, conveyancing, and basically everything. But I specialize in employment law. So today we are going to talk about mental health at the workplace, and what about your rights in the workplace when you have a mental health issue. So be welcome.
Yeah. Take us through that. What happens? Take us through that.
When you have a mental health issue at the workplace, you need to know, for example, you're suffering from bipolar. For example, you're suffering from schizophrenia. You are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
You are suffering from depression. And over 200, the other 200 types of mental health issues. You need to know your rights. For example, if you are employed, you need to know your rights. Mental health people, Jani, they have difficulties in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can wake up and you are feeling bad and you can't go to work. You have overslept, for example. You have a headache and you can't go to work. And therefore, you will come into conflict at some point with your bosses at work. What are your rights? What are your rights when you are affected by a mental health issue? A boss cannot wake up and say, ulichelewa kazi, wewe ni wazimu, umefukuzwa kazi. No. You need to know your rights. Section 41 of the Employment Act says that there has to be a hearing before you are terminated from employment. There has to be a hearing. The employer has to listen to you before termination is effected. And before that, remember, step 1, there has to be a letter written to you. It is called a notice to show cause letter. It has to be written to you. You reply to that notice to show cause letter. And after that, you have to be engaged in a disciplinary hearing before you are terminated from employment. Before you're terminated, you have to be engaged in a disciplinary hearing. And in this disciplinary hearing, you have a right to have a fellow employee or a member of your trade union to represent you in that meeting in the disciplinary hearing. It's your right. A fellow employee akuje akutete. From there, disciplinary hearing, a verdict will be made by your employer. After disciplinary hearing and a verdict and a judgment for you to be terminated from employment, remember, you have the right to appeal that decision in the same employment setup. You have a right to appeal that decision. After appeal, now is when now termination is effected. Remember, if all this is not done, the law protects you. You go to Employment and Labor Relations Court, or you seek the services of an advocate of the High Court of Kenya to go and seek damages for your unfair termination from employment. Remember, you can be awarded 12 months gross salary as damages for unfair termination.
Yes.
Apart from other dues, you will be paid payment in lieu of notice. 1 month, if your employer didn't give you 1 month notice, you are given payment in lieu of notice. And then if you didn't go for leave, you will be paid 21 days leave. And also 12 months compensation for unfair termination because of your mental health. Remember, in employment law and in the law, in our constitution, Article 27 of the Constitution, you are protected from discrimination because of your disability.
Yeah.
Mental health is a disability, so you are protected from discrimination. Section 5 of the Employment Act lists mental disability as one of the areas you cannot be discriminated against if you're suffering from. So in promotion, for example at work, promotion, for example bonuses, if these things are given to other people and you are denied bonus or promotion on account of your mental ill health, then you can go to the Employment and Labor Relations Court to express your grievances before the judge, and you will be awarded compensation. This thing you can even do when you are still in employment. You can even do it when you are still employed. You have a right to go to court and say you have been discriminated against. Article 46, Section 46 of the Employment Act. When you report a lawyer, your boss to the Employment and Labor Relations Court, you have a right not to be terminated because of going to court. So you cannot be taken. You cannot be terminated against at work because of reporting your boss to court. So all these rights you need to know.
Actually, it's an eye opener because people do not know their rights.
Yes.
They do not know their rights because there's no information out there, and there's no one who is taking the lead in giving the masses with the information.
Let me shock you. Let me shock you. Do you know that you cannot be chased away from employment or terminated against on account of ill health? Because before you are terminated because of your mental health condition in the workplace, there is something called reasonable accommodation.
Yes.
Your employer must accommodate you for a period of time, paying for your hospital bills, seeing a psychiatrist for a period of time before you are eventually terminated from work. He has to go through with you the journey, give you a sick leave, walk with you through the journey, give you time for you to improve your health. Your employer cannot just wake up and say, because of your ill health, you are terminated from employment. There has to be a journey. He has to walk. Your employer has to work with you, even for 200 days, even for 4 months, just working with you so that to see if you can recover from your ill health. You cannot just wake up and say, it is too much.
I want you to clarify this.
Yes.
On matters of employer-employee relationship, whereby you are abiding by a contract, and the contract says if you are sick, you'll be given 14 days leave. After that, if the illness proceeds, you are given a salary for 3 months. Then after that, you are terminated. Does the contract prevail, or the law still prevails?
People perish because of lack of knowledge, and ignorance of the law has left many people not knowing their rights. A contract can say anything you want. The employer can write anything he wants in the contract, and you can even sign it. But when you come to the law, when you come before a court of law, it is the law that prevails, not the contract. What the law says, it's what will be followed. Whatever the boss has imagined and put down in contract, he can even say in the contract that for 3 months, if you come late to work, for 3 months you will be paid 10% less of your salary. That is just the contract. But before the law, we will follow the law, which protects the wages of an employee religiously. The Employment Act protects the wages, the salary of the employee religiously. You cannot be deducted even your salary for any reason. Any reason. What they write in contract, they can write anything. But when you come before the court of law, it is the law that prevails. For example, you're saying 14 days, yes. You can say 14 days in the Employment Act, it's allowed 14 days leave, and that leave you have to be paid full pay during that period. And the employer must work with you until the day you will become, have capacity and capability to continue working.
Now, Wakili, tell us about, is there a body that registers people with mental illness? Like we have the physically disabled and all that.
There is no body per se that specifically registers the mentally ill. But mental illness is considered in the law as a disability. It's just a disability that occurs in the part of your body, which is your brain. So it is a disability. Therefore, you can register with the National Council of People Living with Disability. They have their offices in Westlands. There, did you know that when you have a mental health issue, illness, you are entitled to be exempted from income tax and any other form of tax from the government. All you need to do is to register with the National Council of Persons Living with Disability, and they will take you through the journey. They will tell you to go and visit a psychiatrist who will examine you and give a report that actually, yes, you have a mental health disability. And therefore, from there, they will go another step to the Kenya Revenue Authority, where they will present you as one of the persons who are classified as persons living with disability. So mental health illness is part of persons living with disability, and you have many rights.
Well, I didn't know that for sure. I didn't know. I'm also learning, and it's an eye-opener. A parent out there who is watching this, and you have a child who has a mental illness, take the first step. Have the child registered by the National Council of People Living with Disability, which is an umbrella organization for all the disabilities in this country, and you really get to be assisted. Your parting shot, Wakili?
My parting shot is that mental health illnesses is just like other illnesses. It's just like other illnesses like cancer, diabetes, arthritis. It is only that this illness occurs in your mind. Therefore, the law recognizes this fact. It recognizes this fact. And therefore, it covers you, it protects you from the Constitution to the Employment Act. You are protected because you are a person who is living with a disability in your mind. To the employers out there, I want you I am pleading with you to get yourself acquainted, to learn, to educate yourself about mental health issues. Johnny, you will recognize that 1 out of 4 Kenyans who go to visit the outpatient in hospitals, they go there because of mental health issues. And they say 1 out of 10 Kenyans has a mental health issue. 1 out of 10. So employers out there, at one point in time, you will meet an employee who has a mental health issue. For example, me, I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I am battling a mental illness called bipolar 1 disorder, which I've lived with for over 22 years. I know my rights. So employers should know their rights. If you're an employee, know your rights. There are so many laws in Kenya protecting you. There's a disability act passed by the law, by the parliament to protect you. You are protected by over 5 laws because of your mental health. Get acquainted, educate yourself, and you will enjoy all the rights that you are protected with. Amen.
I hope you've learned a lot, as I have learned, and let's keep engaging on the comment section. I would like to know you, ask questions. We'll be here with Wakili to answer your questions. Continue subscribing, share the link with your friends. And from me and Wakili, bye.